in the Rainbow Factory.
Welcome to the newest episode of Rainbow in the Dark, everybody. We are here with a newer addition to the Rainbow Factory, Alton.
Hey!
He will be accompanying me on multiple ventures with the Let's Plays, mostly horror-based.
Because a good percent of them got abandoned and were never picked up again.
Also, welcome back, Spirits, everybody. Spirits! You can't be silent forever.
No, not again, please! Dear God, no! Why do you torment
Spirits,
me like this?
Everybody.
You also have to introduce my chair.
Okay, that's obnoxious. Anyway, not your chair, my phone. Anyway, we have two topics today to talk about in these podcasts, and after many, many fucking hurdles of trying to get this to work, our two topics today will be discussing Fate and all of its many paths and branches and lore, and Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, GT, all that shit in a nutshell. We're not going to be talking about GT. There's nothing. GT doesn't exist.
Step into the Grand Tour.
Alright, we got anything to start us off with?
Fucking hate you so much.
The funniest thing is I can imagine Jiren walking to that.
No, Joey.
Jiren can't walk. Look at his legs.
Joey, imagine hunting a Rathalos and then a Rathian coming in, and you just hear that in your ears.
Jiren can walk. He has to walk like a gorilla, though. God damn.
It gets louder every time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is the
damn
cast.
it! Oh. I'm trying to talk.
I bet you are.
You mind turning it off?
God damn it, this is gonna get fucking copyright stricken so hard.
So go on, talk about Fate.
With the upcoming events in Fate Grand Order North America, we have gotten the introduction to Edmund Dantes, otherwise known as Dinglerumpus Edgelord.
Okay, it's over.
Okay, so for real, we've got two things to talk about today. It's Fate and Dragon Ball of any iteration, but I want to talk a little bit about Fate and the good news that Spirits has apparently informed me that Japan's currently developing a
Is it
Fate...
news?
Well, it's news for me!
So, for some of you who don't know, Japan apparently is making a Fate Grand Order arcade game that looks like it's taken a lot of the style of Dissidia. So...
And, like, J-Stars or some shit.
J-Stars, any sort of...
Why?!
See, I'm at least happy it was in a short interval instead of the full song.
Anyway, I'm really excited because, I won't have to wail for Frankenstein or any of the servants I want.
Because for those of you who also don't know and live in Joey's personal life, he put money into Fate Grand Order.
So did Spirits. Shut your mouth.
He's $36, Joey.
$36.
$16
so what?
difference.
Anyway, what we're here to talk about is, let's just talk about how the quality of Fate series throughout even all the way
Oh,
going.
you mean Dean?
And going all the way back before Dean and going back to the hentai game.
Hentai games.
I actually find it absolutely hilarious how this ridiculously large series had spawned from one dude's hentai game because he wanted to fuck King Arthur.
I mean, that was only like one route.
That is true.
The Fate route, then you had the Rin, and you had Sakura route.
Then you had the worst route, and then you had the best route, and so on and so forth.
Heaven's Feel introduced a lot of crazy shit. Anyway, yeah, considering Fate. Spirits, you feel like starting us off and explaining what's, like, the best Fate anime?
Non-existent.
Wait, what?
currently non-existent.
I'm guessing each one has its flaws and strengths?
Sure. If you want the actual best one animated right now, you can go for Zero, but then people are gonna yell at you because the Fate community is stupid.
The Fate community is absolutely stupid.
This is true.
A lot of, well, then again, Fate community's been stupid ever since, like, Dean animated Fate Stay Night.
This is also true.
Dean finds a way.
What?
Dean finds a way.
Dean finds a way, but it's not even just that. The Fate route is serviceable in the sense that it's non-offensive, it's not great, the quality is absolutely abysmal at times with its action scenes, but it had an okay ending. King Arthur point-blanking Gilgamesh with Excalibur, that was fun.
You're gonna have to, like, edit this into the video at some point.
What?
Dean finds a way.
I see it.
Oh, god damn it. I will keep that. Oh, I didn't need to see that again. His gay bulge. Shit, my alcohol. Aside from that,
Tales of Part 4.
Fate route was serviceable. Unlimited.
Fate Right's fine. Unlimited Blade Work is absolutely horrendous.
Well,
Heaven's Feel's pretty damn good.
The 2010, well, you got to talk about the 2010 Unlimited Blade Works movie.
Oh, that's also fucking horrendous.
Can we not?
Fucking terrible.
The more we talk,
What I just linked is from it.
the more we talk about it, the more
What
power.
I just linked is from it.
I have to put those in now.
This is a movie. Movies.
Yeah, that's movie budget.
Movies are supposed to have a high budget. People sure love their coke and hookers.
And let's put one more in there.
God damn it.
My gay fishing rod.
Fucking.
Holy shit. Okay. Oh my god. I think I've actually might remember. I remember in a fever dream like this. But no, so yeah, then we have to talk about the 2014 Unlimited Blade Works TV series that,
Do we have to?
We have to, because nobody can seem to get Emiya's cock out of their mouth. And nobody can seem to get UFO
Just because you're right.
Just because you're correct doesn't make you right. While everybody can go, like, I guarantee you there are going to be some people in the Fate community. I've got some fans who will get on my ass about this. But let's hear.
No.
Everybody keeps saying, "Oh well, listen, you don't understand. Like, you can take the Fate you can take the like lines out of context, but it doesn't remove the sentiment of what he's saying." Yeah, it doesn't remove the sentiment of what he's saying. But do you hear yourself?
It's
you
stupid.
Idiot.
It's really stupid, alright?
It's very stupid.
People die if they're killed.
Hilariously stupid.
And that's the way it should be. I get
Just
that.
because you're correct doesn't mean you're right. Huh?
Well, it's not even that. It's the route they took, and
Someone got the picture of that smiling black guy who's just very confused.
No.
What makes me try to appreciate Unlimited Blade Works more, aside from the fact that UFOtable just blew its load animating that, and that's
and
what
somehow Fate Zero still looked better.
Not only that, but I think the reason why people will still defend Unlimited Blade Works route is now it has decent animation behind it, which makes it infallible in their eyes, despite the fact that Emiya is here's the thing. I do appreciate that they tried to nail home Shiro's a hard worker, he wants to find something, to believe in, yada yada yada.
Well, he does have a thing to believe in, the kitchen.
That's the better route. There we go.
The best route.
The better route of Fate is Shiro cooking.
But that's an actual thing, though.
Yeah.
Wait, that's an actually. Well, no, I'm talking about just that anime is the best thing to come out of the Fate. Is the best thing to come out of the Stay Night timeline aside from Heaven's Feel. Also, I do want to see the Heaven's Feel movie because I really want to see Hassan use that goddamn arm.
Stupid wacky arm.
Wacky waving inflatable arm, fucking rip your heart out, man.
Yeah, usually implements death.
Yeah.
But it's not even that. It was just again, what makes Fate Unlimited Blade Works infallible for some people is the sense that Well, yeah, Shiro proved himself
It's animated. It means it's canon.
It's like Shiro proved himself to be a good hero because he stood up for his ideals. Like, yeah, you could stand up for your ideals. That doesn't mean you're not going to get shit stomped.
Hey Archer, how do you feel about that? Kill me.
And not even that, it's the fact that there's a ridiculous chunk of people in the Fate community that believe that whenever Shiro used the perfected
I'm sorry, what?
like the mastered version of Unlimited Blade Works.
He didn't master shit.
Joey, don't die on us, please.
I should no.
You're the only person with the login information for the Rainbow Factory.
Anyway,
you die, we're out of the job.
Regardless, I don't pay y'all anyway. I don't get paid. Anyway,
in fucking
point taken.
Go ahead, explain those spirits.
Every route has Shiro do something for himself, except for Fate route, which is just, well, nothing really challenged him, and he didn't really challenge anything there.
Didn't he kill Kiri though in Fate route?
Yeah, but there's no real ideals thing going on here. Mud deals, but in Unlimited Blade Works, his thing is that he wants to save everyone. Okay,
he wants to prevent the tragedy of Fuyuki City.
I want to save everyone. That's the thing.
Shonen boy goals, but it's fine.
The future version of himself tells him this is not going to work out, and he kicks and screams until the guy just says, "Okay, fine, whatever, stab me."
Yeah, he could have here's the thing: Shiro did not beat Emiya. He could not beat his future self. He was going to lose, but then Emiya was like about to
Emiya's got some problems too, but I'll talk about that later. Again, for his ideal thing is he just keeps screaming that he's gonna save everyone, and then he does because the writer said so. I fucking love that interview where they go into detail about that. How Shiro could not win most of these fights, so the story demanded that he had to. Gilgamesh was gonna kill him.
Yeah, because he couldn't trace A. There. He couldn't trace A.
Remember that entire scene where
Gilgamesh was gonna kill him? Arthur even comes out and say, yeah, Gilgamesh was gonna win, but he had to lose to the power of very huge quotation marks there, love.
I thought he was losing to plot convenience and grace.
Oh, that too.
So, yeah.
That too, but the plot convenience doesn't really work if it, doesn't make sense. In that Gil beats him. Well, no, other way. Ugh. But
Shiro beats him.
Shiro beats Gil because he says, "You aren't a wielder. You aren't a master of these weapons. You're a user."
Oh fuck! Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
wrong.
Right. Okay, first off, Bryce Papenbrook can fuck off with that delivery because there was nothing behind that. But yeah, he was telling Gilgamesh, he's like, "Yeah, you might have all these weapons," he was like, "but you've never mastered a single one of them." To which I was screaming, "Have you not read the Epic of Gilgamesh?"
Man,
he could beat you with his bare hands alone. He and Enkidu suplexed the Bull of Heaven.
If he said that in Unlimited Blade Works, then that version of Shiro would hate to meet King Richard and Berserk Lancelot.
There's this other thing where stats are important in Fate.
Yes.
High Lancer. And
the future version of Shiro, Emiya, let me check real quick. Okay, and it comes to stats. Strength dictates all the fighting capabilities they have, excluding Noble Phantasms. Includes how strong they are, how good they are at fighting, all that. You know, my phone's ringing, but screw that noise. You know what? Give me a second.
We'll put some hold music. Insert the Yoshi's Island theme right here.
That's Type Moon. That's Type Moon calling him about the cease and desist.
We got hit with the cease and desist. You can't be bad-mouthing Unlimited Blade Works like this, you little shits.
But no, it's like.
But I want Mama Totsuya.
She'll never get animated. And if it's gonna upset me more.
If she does, well, here's the thing: if she does get animated, like if there's ever any chance to even introduce Totsuya, they would have to do an episodic thing for Fate. Anyway, continue. Okay, hold music's done.
And or was stats dictate everything, blah blah blah. Strength covers fighting skill and actual strength, not including Noble Phantasms. Archer, the future version, the pinnacle version of Emiya, Shiro, has a strength rating of D.
Keep that
Shiro
in mind.
is, of course, weaker than that. And here, I'm sorry, this is really upsetting.
Well, yeah, it's Unlimited Blade Works,
Gilgamesh,
the absolute worst route. Under
Kiriko Tomine, had a strength rating of B.
He would have had an A with a better master.
This is true.
Because again, I think he and Hercules are on the same strength level when Gilgamesh is
No, Hercules has like an A or something, A plus maybe.
I think A plus, but regardless, like Hercules, again, people seem to forget, like there are a lot of myths and a lot of like demigod heroes that drew inspiration from the story of Gilgamesh. One of them being Heracles.
Keep going here. Pinnacle, Emiya, D. Gilgamesh, B. Shiro should not win in any regard. And then they try to say that he had a mana boost because it was seen beforehand. Even with that mana boost, that at best he may come up to Emiya, which is still D. He's not going to go to C, and he's definitely not going to B.
Yeah, no. that absolutely.
And also his swordsman skills are practically non-existent because all he's done...
But he trained with Saber, so...
Yeah, you still wielded a pipe.
Roxas, that's a stick.
You still wielded a pipe, but then during your fight with Soichiro and Medea, he then like managed to like trace Concho and whatever the other sword was.
Byakuyo, I can't remember the name of that.
Byakuyo and Concho.
Vanilla and dark chocolate.
What they did leave out in the anime was the fact that his nerves were almost practically destroyed for trying to trace that weapon.
Okay, so again, no way for Shiro to win this. He ends up winning. Whatever.
Ends up winning.
And then, okay, you remember what happened after Shiro stabbed Emiya?
Yes.
How Gilgamesh showed up and absolutely destroyed that man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
It then goes to, at the very end, where Gilgamesh in the fight's over.
Uh-huh.
Emiya shows up again to save Shiro.
He says, hey, like, lean to the right. Like, yeah, like, tilt your head to the right.
Despite being dead. Ugh, my fucking God.
And then, like, yeah, a knife flies into Gilgamesh's forehead.
Spooky ghost!
And then, after this, then he says his final farewells to Rin and fades away. You should have faded away the moment those swords hit you.
If Gilgamesh wrecked your shit like they implied he wrecked your shit, you would not be standing.
It's not implied. They fucking showed that.
You're
also,
dead.
I think like a lot of the just Fate Unlimited Blade Works is just a flashy show with a very pieced together bubblegum paperclip script.
It's a very mediocre script held together by very flashy.
This is cool,
animation.
right?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, and that's why people suck it off. It's like, oh, Ufotable can do no wrong. Yeah, you can animate shit.
Oh, Ufotable can do tons wrong. Look at God Ear's anime.
Oh, please, let's not go into that again. That episode's still up. Go back to episode 2.
Tales of the Cross.
Please, no.
Horrendous.
I can hear screaming from California.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuck's mad.
Very.
But no, so Unlimited Blade Works, it's just pretty polished garbage writing. No matter how you look at it.
But Shiro did a cool thing. He does cool things in everyone's.
He became a master
does a
chef.
cool thing in he did the coolest thing in the Heaven's Feel round.
Hey, he did multiple cool things.
He held to, not only did he actually like hold to his ideals, he didn't look like a contradictory bastard when he did it.
He also taught Ku Klane the meaning of sexual harassment.
It wasn't that he kept his ideals for this. It's that he changed them to be more realistic, because the whole saving everything was a borrowed ideal.
It was a borrowed ideal from Kiritsugu. It was an ideal that was not his own, and Archer was basically giving him a reality check, saying your ideals are not your own. You have to like find your own reason in life. It's like, oh yeah, he's like saying like, no, I want to save everybody. Fine, then you get no Sakura sex. You're right, God is dead. I'm a moral nihilist. Yada yada. He became a realist, and I was fine with that. And then, as you explained,
all the upgrades that Shiro gets in that one is at least explained well enough. Why does he get better at fighting? He grafted Archer's arm to himself.
Here's here's my right arm. Take it. By the way, if
don't mind if it starts killing you.
Don't mind if it starts killing you. And basically, when his body repaired, it was just like growing swords over his wounds. Like truly, his body was made of swords. Not even a joke.
Hurt like hell.
And when he got into a fist fight with Kotomine Kirei at the end.
Oh yeah, every strike Kira would do would hurt him, but it would hurt fucking Kirei even more.
For those of you who don't know, insert Metal Gear Solid 2 reference here.
This is true.
Wait, which Metal Gear Solid 2 reference?
Revolver Ocelot, brother.
Oh my god, yeah. Also, didn't he in the Heaven's Feel route? Didn't he use Archer's arm to destroy Heracles?
Yeah. He pretty much wrecked himself doing this. He used Naimai's Blade Works. It's Heracles' noble phantasm that he can't use because he's a berserker.
Mm-hmm.
He basically did the same thing that Heracles was supposed to do, but doing it pretty much almost fried his brain.
Okay.
It's the same way where he can actually beat Artoria, but doing that is gonna actually kill himself.
Yeah. Didn't he? Wait, is it?
It's why he has to team up with Ryder.
Was it in the
I don't. Go ahead.
I think it was like some anime. There's a trailer for something. But was that the Heaven's Feel route where he fought fucking Saber Lancelot, or is this something else I'm thinking about?
No. He fights Alter Saber in the Heaven's Feel route.
Okay, and that's a different thing.
So yeah, Saber gets corrupted by the Grail in the Heaven's Feel route.
Okay, good. But no, you see, from the sentence Shiro beats Hercules with Archer's arm, in my mind, I'm imagining Shiro actually beating Hercules with Archer's arm.
Don't think that. No.
That would certainly be a much more visceral take on the subject.
I mean, to be fair though,
let me get you a picture.
I mean, to be fair though, Hercules in Carnival Phantasm did use fucking Cuchulainn as a weapon for a good part.
This is true.
And its Noble Phantasm level was EX, no less. Oh, it was his left arm he gave him.
Oh my god. Now you see, it just looks even more supremely okay, was Shiro still like his same like color pigment?
Yeah, it's just the arm. The arm was wrapped up the entire time.
Okay, now this is where I'm not going to say Metal Gear Solid 2 reference, I'm going to say an Archer reference. And Spirits knows what it is.
God damn it.
Cybernet, which one?
You're not there yet.
Ray didn't choose this life.
God damn it. Yeah, because I just started Season 4 of Archer.
Alright, but, so, when we get into, like, Fate, it's like, to explain on Unlimited Blade Works, it's like if you remember the scene from Fate Zero where, for whatever reason, Lancelot jumped onto that fucking fighter jet and took it over.
Yeah, because it's a weapon,
and
therefore he can master it.
It's true. Now, and remember how flashy and kind of over the top it was? And how him and Gil got into like a dogfight with Gil's fucking weird-ass throne?
Vimana, yes.
Yeah.
Vimana, the Sumerian flight machine that can reach speeds of thought.
Yes. Would it be fair in saying that, like, on that level of flashing, kind of over the topness, that's just the entirety of Unlimited Blade Works?
No, because you can actually explain the Zero stuff.
Because in Zero you could explain the shit, and while there is a lot less action from time to time, the action feel like there's substance behind it. There's something at stake with each action scene. Like the very first fight, everybody thought it was just like flashy. There was something at stake. How do you know this? Because 6 of the 7 servants were at the docks that night, and had Tokiomi not called back Gilgamesh, he would have won the war. That night, all they would have had to have done...
I think they go into detail in all types of interviews, where Gilgamesh could have won the Fate Zero War on the first night if he went over the city with Vimana, raiding down Gate of Babylon, and charging Enuma Elish.
And not only that, yeah, all he would have had to have done is just, like, hunt out Castor. Everybody, like, fuck, Lancelot, Diarmuid, Arturia, Assassin, Ryder, all 5 of them would have been destroyed that night.
Trying to find that chameleon-eyed bastard wouldn't be hard. You just gotta follow the bodies of children. There you go. Or the tentacles.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
He could have destroyed Cthulhu, but he threw 4 swords.
Speaking of bad masters and plans, with this phase, Diarmuid could have won the war too.
This is true.
He could have won the war, but here's the thing: Alton.
He's a terrible master.
Alton didn't know about the whole effect of Gabe Weed, and like, cause yeah, at first you thought it was like a bad plot point how Arturia's arm got healed, but no, yeah, anything cut
it
with
wasn't
Gabe
a
Weed,
bad plot point. I just thought it was.
Anything cut with the gold sphere can't be healed until the spear's either broken or he's beaten.
Yeah, I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, the effect of Gabe Weed is it's a cursed spear, and no wound from it can be healed until it's destroyed or he's destroyed.
Yeah, I didn't know about that part of the spear part. I didn't know.
And admittedly, in his defense, they did have to get rid of Castor's bullshit.
Yeah, that is true.
See, the thing on that is that in one of the interviews they say that he could use the gold spear, attack people, doesn't have to do too much damage, just hit them with that, leave, and let them fight and take themselves out.
Not even that. He could have got like a cheap hit on Gilgamesh, since, you know, I don't know if the Lancer has priority over Archer shit on here.
No, that's not how it works that's only in Grand Order.
I know, I'm just going by like RPG mechanics.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Speaking of BS, Archer being able to hold off Ku as long as he did.
No, holding off. He wasn't even fighting. He was defending the entire time.
Yeah, he was on the. Yeah, Ku always had him on the defensive. And here's the thing they left out in Unlimited Blade Works. Remember when he used Rose Ice or Rose
Ice? Yeah.
Yeah. What the visual novel explained. After enforcing it with his right hand, Gabe Bolg still destroyed that stupid shield of his, but his arm was left hanging in sinew and muscle. There was practically, like, his arm was dangling. It's like, in, like, the anime, it's just like, oh, his arm was, like, really bruised and swollen. No, that's not what happened to his arm.
16's eyes popped out of his head when it was crushed.
Yes, they did.
Juicy.
Read the Dragon Ball manga. There's some fun visuals going on there.
In the Dragon Ball Super anime, Gohan is dressed like Goku. In the Dragon Ball Super manga, Gohan is dressed like his father.
Yeah.
They also explained why fucking Goku. They also gave a good explanation as to why Goku and furthermore Jiren could move through time skip. So.
Yeah. Either way on that.
Because Jiren is stronger than time itself.
Do you hear yourselves? But no, I think what makes Fate Zero so good is the fact that we do spend a lot of time with each servant and master and their dynamics, and I do think very few Fate series has managed to like capture that greatness. However, like don't put this as me shitting on Apocrypha, because Apocrypha is great.
We'll get to Apocrypha.
A very mild first season. But it built up into an amazing roller coaster ride at the end, and I'm not going to deny that.
Apocrypha's good.
Apocrypha's really good, but you have to wait for the build up.
This is true. Can't be impatient.
With Zero, with Zero though, it hits the ground running. But I like Zero because you get to see the dynamics of each master and their servant, Kiritsugu and Arturia.
Oh,
I don't respect Arturia's ideals.
Speaking of Kiritsugu, I find it funny how the guy who spent all of his time just shooting people in the back of the head, or just like in the front of their face the entire time at Zero, gets the best Noble Phantasm when he's a servant.
Oh yeah, you know, let's.
Oh my!
No, again, the best part about all that is, despite the whole fucked up tragedy of Kiritsugu dying, and all that he just suffered, there's some sick hilarity out of this to be had. It's like. His mentality was broken. He couldn't save Ilya. He couldn't save his family. He couldn't save anybody except for Shiro, and he just broke. And he's thinking, well, at least I die. I'll get to rest. And then the Grail said, "Hey, buddy, we've got some wars for you to fight. You're an assassin now.
Parry this, you casual fuck."
Congratulations, you're an assassin. You're a hero.
You are literally the bone of your bullet.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, I
Don't you just love all the people who talk Sieg?
Okay, yeah, speaking of blank slate characters like Shiro, because again, Shiro developed a personality on Limited Blade Works, not for the best, very...
Aww.
Fate Stay Night, the Fate route, insert hentai protagonist...
I want to save everyone.
Insert hentai protagonist here for the Fate route. Also, speaking of hentai in the Fate route, Gilgamesh's speech to Arturia about what he would do... I will insert the here.
I've had quite some time to think about this. About what I would do if you refused this curse. How I'd pin you down and force you to swallow it. I'd shove so much down your throat you'd look pregnant, unable to endure it. You'd break down and grovel at my feet. I've longed to see that defiled look on your face.
No, please.
Please.
Just to remind you, everybody, this is a hentai game.
It was.
And then you've got Heaven's Feel, where Shiro develops a personality and a set of ideals of his own volition. And to me, I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand, is like, sometimes individualism and selfishness is what makes a very good character. That's why everybody shat on Arturia in Fate Zero, because she was selfish, but she was selfish for the sake of trying to be selfless.
Well, what was the tweet, Spirits? What was the episode? Episode 11?
11.
Okay.
Yeah, episode 11 of Fate Zero. I don't know how many times I watched that.
Yeah, the tweet was, I can't recall all the times I've watched episode 11 of Fate Zero. And then you immediately went and watched it again.
Where Gilgamesh and Alexander the Great basically gave her a tutorial on how to be a real king. It's like, yeah, you have to live... it doesn't matter. Like, again, each king was different. That's fine. You don't have to hold their same ideals.
This is true.
But you have to live knowing that you are the king and that the king cannot be wrong.
I am the king.
Because again, Alexander the despite what Gilgamesh may say, and he is wrong at times, Enkidu has proved this.
Girly boy with man hands.
God damn it. Alexander the Great made a perfect understanding of this when he said, the world, the way he grew up in the world, it was war, war, war. That's fine. And whoever wins is right. That's simply how it is. You can argue about your lofty ideals and your lofty dreams and all of the things that you feel are right, or whatever your religion or whatever you were raised to believe is right. But what comes down at the end of the day is, if a nation wins and its king is now the new ruler, they are right and they should hold themselves to that standard. They should stand along with their people, but be, as he said, more greedy than the greediest and more selfish than all that. He's right in the sense that a king has to lead his people. So, king has to lead his people, but he does not.
Arturia never led anyone.
She led her knights, and that was it. Arturia
she didn't even do that.
So Arturia was a great knight. She was a great soldier, but she was a terrible leader.
So for those of you who want that in human terms, imagine little Jimmy on the playground keeps talking about how he loves the ending of Lost, and then you have enough of that shit talk. You go over and punch him in the mouth and say, no, Lost is shit, and next day he ain't going to be talking about the ending of Lost anymore.
It sounds wrong, but again, that's just the way the world works. It did come down to the victor makes the history books.
Look, man, you don't know how many playground fights have started because of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, okay? You don't know how many of those ended in a bloodbath.
I cannot tell you how many times I got beat down on the playground because I thought Street Sharks was better. Street Sharks is cool.
No.
Street Sharks is terrible.
Street Sharks is terrible, and fuck you, Gorilla Grodd.
Jawsome.
For these references, see the game Necropolis.
Regardless of that, yeah, Alexander the Great put a great example. If anything, it's not wrong, because I took the time to read. One of my favorite stories about the Arthurian mythos was I Am Mordred by Nancy Springer, and she wrote a story based off the legend of Arthur and went into depth explaining Mordred's upbringing as a person and an individual. And I'll be perfectly honest, you can blame it all on Arthur. You can blame a good chunk of it on Morgan Le Fay, but Mordred was someone who wanted his father's affection. He had nobody to look to, and Arthur did not acknowledge him because he was the son of the witch Morgan Le Fay, despite the fact that he was still Arthur's child. But rather than treat him like a human being, Mordred decided, fine, I have an idea. And, like, because, yeah, Merlin kept telling Arthur this fucked up... Also, fuck Merlin, too. Merlin kept telling
Arthur... Merlin was playing the entire time.
Also, there are some translations...
No, it's like... But, yeah, Merlin was telling Arthur this... It falls under the same the Oedipus complex story, the Oedipus Rex. He kept telling Arthur that... No, aside from that, I'm just talking about, it took the theme from Oedipus Rex.
No, I know, I get PTSD whenever I hear the phrase Oedipus and Rex put together in the same sentence.
And what did happen? That would be the creepiest dinosaur ever.
No, the Barbatos Oedipus Rex.
Oh god, no.
Please stop. Anyway, Merlin was, like, the reason why Arthur did not want to acknowledge Mordred was because Merlin told Arthur the prophecy of what would happen with Mordred. So, instead of trying to be a good father, Arthur perpetuated the prophecy by saying, if I keep him out of my life, this won't happen. And it's just dawning on you that Arthur has unintentionally fueled his own demise and his own fall. And that's what led to Mordred's rebellion. And the sad thing was, towards the end of the book, Mordred begged Merlin. It's like, I have this hate towards my father. I want to, he basically made Merlin lock his soul away in the form of a butterfly and put it in a box so that he would have no anger and ambition towards Arthur. But because of that emptiness, he still ended up destroying Camelot, regardless. It was just... It's so tragic how that played out.
Fucking kicks down a door to, like, the fucking League of Villains, but Arthurian villains. Okay, who here hates the king? Everyone just stands up.
Everybody. And then Lancelot shows up. Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, guys. I just joined the group.
Also, let's not mention about the weird translations where Morgan Le Fay and Arthur might also be kind of related.
Brother and sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let us talk about how fucking Lancelot gets punished in later versions with cheating with the fucking affair with Guinevere.
Oh, you mean the fact that he doesn't get punished?
He doesn't. And here's the worst part. You know what? Lancelot dies a miserable death, and it's sad because during the war, the shit that was happening with Camelot, and this is not going just by fate lore. This is going by like historical.
Oh no, that's what I mean in the what was it, the tale of?
What happened was that Gawain and Lancelot were like the best of buddies. Like nobody can be closer than those two. But the sad thing was because of Arthur's divide and his duel with Mordred, Lancelot and Gawain ended up fighting each other. Lancelot kills Gawain in a duel, and despite the fact that Gawain does not hate him or begrudge him for it, Lancelot lives to like his 60s after escaping to France and just dies still grieving his best friend and suffering, like hoping to repent for his bullshit. It's tragic, honestly.
Okay, so...
but we all know the reason why Gawain and Lancelot were fighting, because Lancelot was making fun of his, like, Hot Topic dress code.
No, that's just wrong.
But,
You know it's true!
But, no, what I was talking about was, fuck, what was his name? The other kid. Lancelot's kid on the circle. On the Knights of the Round Table. Fuck, what was his name?
Agravain?
Was it Aggro?
No.
Something.
No. I don't know, like, I can name all of the ones Fate has listed. We got Galahad, Bedivere, Tristan.
It was Galahad.
Gawain, Agravain, Lancelot, then you've got Mordred and Arthur. That's, like, the ones they've all listed.
It was Galahad. Okay, so the original story was Galahad, in the Tale of Galahad, Galahad was the son of, was the quote-unquote son of Guinevere and Lancelot from the love affair that they were having. Which, by the way, if you read the original story where Lancelot gets introduced, Lancelot is like the biggest, like, fanfic OC character you could possibly fucking imagine.
He is the best knight of the Round Table, arguably.
Well, no, it's the fact that he does everything that Arthur is supposed to do, but better. Like, be a better lover for Guinevere and all that shit. But,
thank you.
But, say enough when, the Christian, like, get a hold of the story, and they're like, no, adultery's bad, ew. And, they basically write in Galahad, who is Lancelot, but better. And the ending of that story is like the entire like thing that happened between Lancelot and Guinevere being like basically enough. It's like Lancelot going, "Hey, are we cool?" while you hear lightning and thunder in the background. And the story ends with Lancelot going bald and becoming a monk.
Huh. Well, that does make... He became, like, what, a friar or a monk?
Friar.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, and then it ends with, along with that, it ends with Galahad finding the Grail and angels coming down and just taking him to heaven. Like, oh, see ya, guys.
Well, that's an interesting take on the Holy Grail War. But,
check your time.
Speaking of, yeah... What? I did, but speaking of Knights of the Round Table, since we're talking about like the Knights of the Round Table, let's talk about Mordred, and that leads up into Apocrypha, and how Digibro needs to pull his head out of his ass.
Oh, Digibro's a fucking idiot.
Because first 3 episodes, Mordred's just a carbon copy of Arthur.
We will not mention the marketplace, please.
Wait, the marketplace? Oh,
you were here when we played that audio.
Regardless, like, yeah, Mordred's just a carbon copy of Arthur. Do you know... Did you watch Fate? Mordred's nothing like Arthur. She's an angry, rebellious teen who needs a good father figure in her life. Hey, Shishigo. It's like, wow, The Last of Us got really weird.
Please, don't.
Jesus, Joel.
I didn't know you could shoot monkey fingers.
It's a waste of a perfect good monkey's paw.
Apocrypha is arguably, like, in terms of quality and, like, storytelling, it's a step below Fate Zero, but it's good for what it is, and it's amazing with what it does with its characters. It doesn't have a lot of great servant and master dynamics as much as Fate Zero, but the ones it does have stand out. Like, what was her name? Fiore and Chiron.
Chiron, yeah.
Chiron and Fiore had a very interesting relationship along with her brother, and if anything, I did like her development. I didn't think I would give a jack shit about Dr. Octagonopus, but heads up, she's crippled and she's got like the fucking robot arms that her like wheelchair turns into.
Jesus Christ.
You get the Millennia is a very strange...
talk about Frankenstein.
Get out of here, Scarecrow, before I tell Spider-Man.
And Frankenstein, for the time she was on screen, she had one of the more compelling stories out of the servants, in the sense that Fate decided, not only are we going to stay true to the book, and that, okay, so we're going to stay true to the book, Frankenstein, so I hope you're ready for to get really depressing. But then Shakespeare makes her relive all of that. Woo! Fun.
Don't you love First Philo?
I thought it was First Folio.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was First Folio. But, yeah. Despite all that, Frankenstein, while she was on screen, she was great. She was fun. She was interesting. I did like her. I did like her backstory. I like how it stayed true to the book, because nobody reads the damn book. I
read the manga.
Nobody, and if anybody did read the book, I thank you. You're a good person. Also, here's a recommendation. Go get the 1994 DVD of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro played the monster. It's better than you'd think, because you would never expect Robert De Niro to talk with an English accent.
No, because what I imagine, because of that, I imagine the Frankenstein monster talking like fucking Robert De Niro.
Like Frankenstein looking at his reflection, like Frankenstein's monster looking in the reflection of a lake. You talking to me?
Yeah.
I just fucking asked, are you talking to me?
Fucking Godfather.
Not in Godfather, like Raging Bull.
No, I'm in Godfather Part 3. Just the one scene with De Niro. That's all it's needed.
Oh, Godfather 3.
Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein comes out. He comes on screen. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Also, I do, one thing that Fate Apocrypha did great was, turning, what made it great was, turning Frankenstein's monster into a female, and while I get what they were trying to do, it was basically, instead of Victor Frankenstein making an Adam, he decided to make an Eve who would, you know, give birth to the perfect human being. But like, the thing is, they made it a little bit more tragic in the anime than the book, because in the book, Victor was a very curious fellow who basically didn't have too much tragedy in his life, but he was just like a third-year college student who was trying to understand why things live and why things die. And
the ultimate evil.
Take my word for this, or you can take the book's word for this, he decided to, you know, try to recreate a human life and use, like, you know, the brain of his previous professor. So he dug up only the freshest, most handsome of body parts.
For those of you who are wondering how the book describes Frankenstein, don't think of the monster.
He was a literal Adonis.
Handsome Squidward. There you go.
He made a 7-foot-tall, handsome specimen of a human being. The only problem with it was he accidentally, like, he made the eye, like, the eyes had this, like, weird yellow luminescent glow.
He accidentally stepped onto the set of Tokyo Ghoul and was like, oh, hey, these will do fine.
He made the eyes look, like, ridiculously evil, and because of that, he freaked the fuck out when it did come alive and decided to abandon the monster in the wild. First 5 minutes of him creating new life, he irresponsibly leaves it alone and just says, I'm out of here, I gave up on this experiment. And then the monster's left to roam the earth in the wild for 3 years, and then the monster basically stumbles across a couple of, like, very poor people, read some of the books they left outside, which ironically one of them was Paradise Lost.
Yeah, I like Mega Man X8.
Oh my god. Don't make me think of... Oh no.
Moving on, staying on topic.
And yeah, so we have Fran, one of the best characters in that series, and I do love her plot point further in Season 2, despite the fact that she couldn't do jack shit to Mordred. Hey, Callus, if your luck was high enough, she would have exploded and repaired herself.
Whoops.
And then we have to talk about everybody's, like, controversy over the Trap character, where,
you know, it's funny.
It's fine. Astolfo is taking the form what he ever preferred.
Digibro didn't know.
Astolfo. Oh my god, damn it! Like, yeah, he's like, we have to look at this lesbian scene. I'm like, a lesbian scene? You know that's a dude. And that his anyway. But aside from that, Astolfo took that form because he likes cute things. And in the legend of Astolfo, one of the 12 Paladins of Charlemagne, his real form, I kid you not, is a magical tree.
That's about right.
The French have very weird legends.
You know, it's funny because even though you say magical tree, I imagine him more like the Eustace flower from that one episode of Courage Cowardly Dog.
It's the Eustace flower with, no, it's like a big sunflower, but it's got the Astolfo Bean plushy face.
Oh, God.
I was thinking more of a X-Death.
I shall take everything into the void. But not even that. You've got, then you had Best Boy, the goodest boy, the most polite boy, one of the greatest sabers of all time, and one of the best legends of all time.
Is that okay?
Siegfried of the Nibelungs, from the story...
Try that again.
What?
Try the name again.
Please don't.
Siegfried of the Netherlands, from the legend, the Nibelungenlied.
There you go.
You always gotta throw in some of that goose step speak when you say that.
When you, again, from the story, the Nibelungenlied, it's also, funnily enough, Siegfried was the one that destroyed, I just got through to that part in the book. Siegfried was the one that destroyed the previous ruling family in, his country, the Nibelungs, their two princes. He destroyed, like, I think the 2 princes and took over their kingdom for the sake of his father. Also, fun fact, Siegfried's father and mother is named, respectively, Sigmund and Siglind, and this is his brother twice removed, Mark.
Hello.
But yeah, Siegfried is the most polite boy. He has an amazing design, despite what dumbasses may say, who think, I took color theory, and Siegfried's
design is terrible. Yes, sir, man.
who also
Like,
This comes from the same person who liked Austin from Sword Art Online.
The goodest of good boys also had one of the shittiest of shits from Masters. This fat fucking. Ugh.
That manga chapter still makes me hurt to this day. He's like, by my command seal, I demand you use Balmung. Why? This guy is it was when Siegfried was fighting Achilles. This guy is impervious to everything. If I hit him with Balmung, I'm gonna be wasting an attack, and he'll probably find out who we are. No, by my command seal, use it. Fine, I'm gonna have to put all my strength into it. By my command seal, stop! Wasted 2 and yeah, just the look on his face. And then he just immediately turns around and like yells at his master, "I'm sorry, but that is not okay. Is that okay?" Also, Siegfried is literally Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. He is Sumanai-san. He is Sumanai-san.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He is a very polite saber. He's great for what he is, because, if anything, I think the Legend of Sigurd was one of the few, like, well, again, his story originated from Sigurd. Sigurd was an old Norse mythology, and if you, like, him and Beowulf are like some of the earliest tales of a dude destroying a dragon. And if you ever hear anything about a dragon slayer, it probably came from either Sigurd or Beowulf for his, like, point of inspiration. But, here's the difference between Siegfried and Sigurd, because, Sigurd was a Norse legend, but the difference being is he did a little bit the same thing as Siegfried did, but Sigurd was the first one to do it. However, when he carved out the heart of the dragon, roasted it over a fire, and ate it, he gained the ability to talk to birds. This is Norse mythology, one of the most metal, one of the most coolest mythologies, and you gave a dude who mutilated a dragon the ability to talk to birds. Whereas Siegfried, basically the Germans heard the story of Sigurd, and they say, we can make this better. And Siegfried, when he went to fight Fafnir, the Black Sky Demon Dragon, slit its throat, and then just bathed in its blood, and its blood gave him invincible skin. However, there was a small tiny leaf that fell on his back, which covered up a very small spot, so now he was 99.9% invulnerable.
Mother Nature, in this case, was an actual bitch.
Probably. Also, a fun joke in Fate is that Sigurd's lover, Brunhilde, is absolutely obsessed with anybody who does anything heroic, because she's convinced they're the incarnation of Sigurd.
This is true.
But,
So, Brunhilde may harass Siegfried a lot.
Also, for those of you who don't know Joey personally, I was there when he finished Fate Apocrypha and was horrendously drunk. That man cried.
Yeah, I did. I was drunk and I was crying throughout the finale because Fran was the MVP from Beyond the Grave.
Fran did more than just go ook. Waver took out Ryder's cloak and's like, good times. And then then Sigurd became a fucking giant scaly. Sieg.
Well, what happened with Sieg was, like, everybody keeps giving him shit as a blank slate character. He is, at first, a blank slate character. He's a homunculus with he's a homunculus bred for war by Gord and Castor, what was his name? Solomon Abgabi or whatever.
Don't worry about it.
Basically, Avisibron.
There you go.
Yeah, Avisibron. There. He was they were basically they were trying to breed shinies. Okay. What they were essentially doing is they were breeding a shit ton of homunculi and trying to find the one that had very potent magical circuits so that they can use Avisibron's noble phantasm, Cooter Malkeith. However, he breaks out of his little didgeridoo tube and proceeds to go, you know what? I kind of don't want to die because I see what's happening to me and everybody else. So, his first birth, most homunculi don't feel human, but one of his first moments of being alive, he developed one human trait called self-preservation. And then a promiscuously gay boy was walking down
A rambunctious gay
found him picked him up, tossed him over his shoulder, and said, "I'm gonna use you for later."
I don't know. It still dawns on me just how funny that scene is. The guards asking Astolfo.
The fucking homunculi just run up to him. It's like, Ryder, we're looking for a stray homunculus. As Ryder has the boy ass first over his shoulder.
Ass
saying,
first and dripping in fucking tube juice.
Like, nope, haven't seen him. Bye. And then Astolfo takes him to his room and puts him in his bed, and this is where we remember that Fate's a hentai game. But no, yeah, everybody wants to give Astolfo shit. It was like, I don't give Astolfo shit because, in my opinion, he's what most heroes of chivalry were. He was a knight that helped people. He was a beautiful boy that helped people.
Look, man, I don't know how I feel about, aside from like the 4 servants from France we've got, 2 of the men are gay, are traps. One is the hey demons, it's me, ya boy, and then we have John d'Arc over there just being very upset about God.
What about you didn't see what Charlemagne looked like?
No, I did not.
Charlemagne
is Vichy, I like him.
Charlemagne is a Vichy boy, but he looks like he doesn't fuck around. Everybody wants to keep.
Not everyone, Joe.
In some cases, I'm fine with Vichy.
Not everyone.
What? Like not everybody? What?
Not everyone's getting on him.
Like a King Richard's Vichy, I'm fine with that. That is the type of Vichy I enjoy.
No, yeah, I have a picture real quick, Alton. This is what Charlemagne looks like. He doesn't look bad. I like him. He's a good boy. He's a good king of France. I trust him. That is the king of France.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
He'll fuck you up.
And he's one of the few reasons that I'm willing to say. That's one of the few reasons I'm willing to say, yeah, France ain't all that bad. But yeah, despite all this, with Fate Apocrypha, then yeah, he gets saved. Sieg's character development doesn't really happen too much until like early season 2, and there is a very powerful scene at the beginning of season 2 with Jack the Ripper's master and Sieg. That was where his like humanity was actually kind of eking through, and that's something people like to forget. That's the worst part. People like to.
You mean that Sieg, since he shows up, is slowly becoming human?
Yeah, that people seem like yeah, people say like, oh, this is Cardboard Kun. Yeah, he starts off as cardboard, but yeah, he's slow understanding what it means to be human. But and one of my favorite scenes at the beginning of season 2.
Well, my favorites is when he starts trying to think about the concept of right and wrong, good and evil.
And my favorite part was when he was like having a conversation with when he was having a quote-unquote fake date with Joan of Arc. He was just simply like, you know, he was like understanding right and wrong, and he was talking to her. He's like saying like, you know, like I feel indebted to you. Like, allow me to repay you with my body. You can't say that out loud in public, Sieg.
Now you see, I always like to think that like they were in adjoining rooms and Astolfo was in the other room, and the moment he said that, you hear a door slam, and then the door just kicks open and Astolfo's just standing there.
The funniest bit about it is, there was something great about that, because the Jack the Ripper shit happened like an episode after that moment, because when he and Joan of Arc were walking to town and she was explaining, you know, like how humans like mitigate from town to town and they live and they do good and help people, he got one side of the argument. And then with Jack the Ripper, he got the other side of the argument. And to me, it was done so much better than like half of Shiro's nonsense of, you know, developing his own ideals. And yeah, to me, I just liked it because yeah, he gets it. That he's like saying like, isn't somebody gonna help this, you know, this girl out? You know, she needs help and all that. Then he's understanding that human nature is not always inherently good, nor is it inherently bad.
Hi, Kikaider.
Stop.
Nope.
And all I see are demons.
But yeah, and at the very end of the series, we had 3 amazing fights. 4, I take that back. We had 4 amazing fights. The first one was, okay, so, we're about to Greek the fuck out of each other, and Achilles and Charon just had, like, the greatest of Greek fights in the first
I challenge you to fisticuffs. Do you accept?
Parry this,
yeah, sure.
Casual fuck.
And it's like, yeah, I beat you, teacher. I did it. Parry this, you casual fuck.
And then,
and he's like, yeah, this is my noble phantasm. I never have to say its name. It's always active. What? And Achilles' heel just gets roasted by a satellite laser.
Let's not forget how everyone had to team up on fucking Karna.
We will talk
Jesus
about
Christ.
that because then we had Adelante after her nonsense with Jack the Ripper and how she was having flashbacks to her early childhood about how... Also, I kind of like how they kind of demoified Artemis because thank God she doesn't have the monster eyes like she does in Fate Grand Order.
No, those are great.
But yeah, I did like that bit because... Yeah, then her and Joan of Arc, because basically Joan of Arc was like just helping put Jack the Ripper out of her misery, and that's fine. But the whole deal was like Adelante's like saying like, no, there's only one thing worse in this world than a killer, and then she removes the tape. A child.
No,
a child killer.
Also,
And then-
for some people, in case you're wondering if you're just watching Apocrypha and you're wondering why is Jack the Ripper a 9-year-old little girl,
She is the culmination of all of those. He, she, it is the culmination of all of those who've been abandoned in London.
well, that and different forms of Jack the Ripper have to possess someone in order to have like a mainstay.
Oh no, that's not it.
Oh, that's not it.
No, for Jack the Ripper, it's just the different concepts and ideas of what Jack the Ripper is can take form.
Yeah, and in Fate Strange Fate, we have the best version of Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, where he says
he is a formless mist with knives.
Oh, he gets a form.
Oh.
he does.
There's
But,
no Phantasm, and Gilgamesh laughed at it.
Oh.
he gets a form, but it's just the fact that he said, you know, I can possess you and I could just work through your body. Problem is, though, you'd go fucking insane if I do so. Because he was a berserker. So.
But yeah, then we had an amazing fight between Adelante and Joan of Arc, and then Achilles stepped in to deliver Chiron's message to Gay Boy.
While he was missing his foot.
Yeah. Basically, after that,
It's like, oh, don't
yeah,
worry, I just lost like 2 pints of blood.
because the setup, what happens with him and Astolfo was like, you know, after like. Okay, first off, I forgot. The better part was Mordred crashing a jet straight into Semiramis.
Like, who be talking shit?
She Battlefield 1 that shit.
Jesus Christ. Why?
She crashed a jet into the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. And, oh my god.
Insert Jambo Jet joke here.
My Jambo Jet flies cheerfully.
And then we ended up meeting, and then the moment Karna found out, he's like saying like, hey, Astolfo's kind of destroying our defenses. I should go out and do something. And then he came out like, I smell my battle buddy.
Oh, my lance is vibrating. Oh, my dick is hardening. Oh, he's near.
Pretty much. And then he sees Siegfried, and then he just grabs him by the lapels and says, you smell like sauerkraut and dragon blood. Come out, Siegfried. And then Siegfried pops out and says, listen, dude, I know you really want to fight me, but I'm going to give you a heads up. I might not enjoy this. Yeah, that's how he turned.
No, every time. I just imagine Sigurd turning inside, or Sieg turning inside out. Like fucking... He's talking to Sieg, he's like, I have no idea what to talk about. And his Siegfried's head comes out of Sieg's mouth.
Untip your head.
Yeah.
Pretty gross, that kid.
Anyway, but Siegfried's just like saying like, yeah, I'm not probably going to enjoy this fight, but I'm going to come at you with everything I've got. Unbeknownst to everybody, how Sieg was resuscitated with the electricity from the blasted tree. Fran passed on one of her abilities onto Siegfried and her noble phantasm. So basically, all throughout, after episode 9 of Fate Apocrypha, Siegfried had been constantly generating a shit ton of mana. And Astolfo noted this because he's like saying like, yeah, I'm using a lot of mana. Are you okay, Siegfried? No, I'm perfectly fine. Yeah, it was a subtle hint that he had a shit ton of mana to give away because he had galvanism.
Oh, and
because
real quick, just in case some of you are confused on what we meant by the Sieg and Siegfried thing, Sieg got mortally wounded in Season 1, and Siegfried gave his heart. Spoiler warning.
Yes. He got mortally wounded by Fat Man McGee, and then Siegfried said, you know what, I do have a wish. I actually want to stand up for justice and do something of my own volition. So, just rips out his heart. This is for justice.
I like that scene in the manga a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, all that happens, and then he starts fighting Karna. So keep this in mind. You have a homunculus who's bred for war, with a shit ton of mana, who has currently turned into Siegfried. We have a powerful saber versus a powerful lancer. However, he also has an inherent ability of Frankenstein in him, so he's generating mana at a stupid good rate. And then the animation studio said, "Listen, we're just gonna we have
just
like
go nuts.
We have
how
like
much money do we have left?
We have four
Let's just use all of that.
We have 4 buckets of money just sitting outside the animation department. Let's just pour it in there." And then Astolfo shows up halfway through the fight to deliver Achilles' noble phantasm. So,
you're skipping the best part.
Oh, the Brahmastra?
No. That it took, like, multiple command seals in multiple Balmungs to keep up with Karna.
To keep up with Karna and to hold back Vasavi Shakti as best as he could.
Reminder, everyone, Karna in this is a Lancer. Reminder.
He's been a Lancer for the most part, even though he technically got his own class.
He didn't get his own class, okay?
Oh, what was the whole deal with Launcher, then?
A name change that the Master Hack did.
Oh, that's why. So, okay, anyway, yeah, Karna's a Lancer. So yeah, Karna was basically going to incinerate Siegfried with the power of the sun, Sunny D, and halfway through towards the end of the fight, Astolfo was able to show up because Achilles gave him his shield, which was his noble phantasm, Achilles Cosmos, which was basically a reality marble similar to that.
A reality marble of an entire world.
A reality marvel of an entire world. So Astolfo rushes in to save his boyfriend, activates Achilles' noble phantasm, traps the explosion and the attack in there.
Blows up the world.
And now Karna is vulnerable because he used his noble phantasm. Because the one thing people seem to forget is Karna has a noble phantasm that could probably defeat Gilgamesh.
That's pretty fucking good.
Again, this man is a Lancer. But here's the
thing, it's a one-shot deal. Because he loses his impervious armor after using it.
Like, oh, you can't beat me. We're on my home turf, which means I get the advantage. Sure. Yeah, about that field spell, Giant Trunade.
Oh, yeah, the fight. Oh, yeah, I'll talk about that. But then, yeah, so you get Siegfried dealing with all this nonsense, and then he rushes forward, throws Balmung. He just chucks Balmung to throw Karna off, and then just rams him, just runs him through with a Astolfo sword that he gave Sieg. Also, I love that. So, yeah, you had that amazing fight. And then the very end, where you had the fight with Sieg and Take Me to Church, boy.
Take me to church.
Yeah, everybody wants to give Sieg shit. Apocrypha was great.
Sieg, it just has plot armor. Fucking...
People call Astolfo coming in to help plot armor. I don't think you know what that word is.
It's like...
No.
It took 4 servants to take down Karna.
This is... my god.
It took 4 servants to even kill Karna. He was that powerful of a servant. And best part is, Karna was a very good person because he simply said, okay, by the way, after this fight ends, I need you to go save our previous masters because I'm not all for Shiro's plan.
He's a very good person who can also shoot fucking lasers from his eyes.
The Brahmastra, one of the abilities from the Mahabharata.
Man, I want to be a fucking sun god from India. I get laser eyes? Fuck yes.
Son of a sun. He's the son of a sun god.
Son of a sun god. If it means I get fucking laser eyes, I'm good. I played Marvel too. I know how busted Cyclops was.
And then, yeah, so Apocrypha's good. I suggest watching it. You don't need to watch any previous Fate series to understand it, honestly. It's a good standalone story. Now, Fate Extra, well, let Spirits take this one away.
I don't want to.
Look, how about
I'll just tell you, look, Fate Extra's anime is a goddamn mess. If you want to get into Fate Extra, play the game, watch videos of the game, do something. Just don't watch the anime.
The only
But what about Nero and her Umu?
I don't care.
The fact that
there's videos of a subtitle group who put an Umu counter. That's nice and all, but could you stop misspelling every word and put Praetor instead of Meister? What are you doing?
not even that. It's just like, as you explained, how there's so much inconsistent bullshit in there. Like,
I used Imperial Privilege to take over part of your Noble Phantasm. That's not what Imperial Privilege does.
Bitch, this ain't Grand Theft Auto.
And in the game, you have to, you know, collect evidence and follow around to, like,
you have to research about what the servants are, and by the time the actual fight starts, you should, if you play it right, have enough information to figure out who they are and how they fight. That doesn't happen in the show.
No.
In the show, the moment she meets her, she's like, "Oh, I know who you are, Francis Drake."
In the show, they meet her and like immediately asked, "Are you a master?" What? Oh, I guess you're not a master. Shows up like an episode later. Ah, you're the servant. Sees a Noble Phantasm that's a ship. Ah, you're Francis Drake.
What? That was the first thing you go for? Like, you just randomly throw, I was like, pirate ship.
In the game, when Nero, well, anyone you're playing as fights Drake for the first time, they think it's an archer, because guns.
Yeah.
First what? And after getting enough data, you figure out it's a writer.
Yeah. But even then, it's just like, yeah, you're Francis Drake. It's like, you know, there are plenty of other pirates they could have done. There was, like, you could have made she could have made the assumption, it's like, oh yeah, like, you're Anne Bonny or Mary Reed. Like, that seems like you could have pulled shit like that, but nope. Nope, just I know
who and then she beats Ryder in one hit. Nero beats Ryder in one hit, and Shinji's character is completely destroyed. He went from being, in the PSP game, an 8-year-old super hacker who wanted to just prove how good he was, to being, I want to save the world, so I'm going to enter the tournament. Oh wait, the tournament, the world, the Holy Grail is bad. I'm going to take everyone's servants away. What? Huh?
Hey, Nero, nice doll eyes.
Those doll eyes scare the shit out of me.
You ever seen a shark's eyes? They're like doll's eyes.
Any other Fate subjects you would like to take away, Spirits, or something that you would be willing
Playground Order.
Playground Order?
There is, for a lot of you who probably are going to get into Fate at some point, if you're going to notice why there's a lot of the, fucking... Fate takes a lot of heroes and a lot of noble figures, and whether they be actual or myth. A lot of the cases they do flip them around, like oh boy, gender-wise. Don't get me fucking started on Attila the Hun. Oh my fucking.
That's not a problem of gender-wise. That's everything. What's this design? What is this noble phantasm? It says nothing to do with Attila the Hun at all.
Aliens?
The absolute worst design, the absolute worst 5-star. Like, here's the thing: I could, if I ever pulled Attila the Hun, I would burn it immediately.
Good, you're a good boy.
There would be no, like, she is the absolute worst 5-star. You can't prove me. Like, she's worse than Edgelord Dante.
The Sword of Mars, an actual fucking sword that Attila the Hun, the real man, had constructed from the metal from a fallen fucking meteorite. Looks like a
a light bright multi-pen.
Exactly.
Looks like a no. It looks like the Airhead sour strips.
Oh god, the fucking son of a bitch.
It looks like it. It looks like the sour Airheads.
All I can say is, Fate at times can be waifu bait. It's fine.
Fate gender bends things because if it didn't, it would be
sausage fest.
Uneven on the gender ratio.
This is true. Some of them are fine, some of them are not. But it's like Francis Drake, I'm fine with. Nero, I'm fine with.
Who wouldn't be fine with Francis Drake aside from Blackbeard? Ew, get away from me, old lady. You're gross.
Yeah, Blackbeard's a pedo. We know this. Although I really did want Proto Arthur. He cool dad. Give me cool dad.
Well, you just gotta wait for his event. It's coming up.
Yeah.
We will get Proto Arthur.
Aside from that, Quetzalcoatl's still the best. Arriba, and let's.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see we actually got some Mexican legends for it, finally.
Alright, aside from that, we're about an hour and 13 minutes in. I think that was long enough. Well, there's Fate Strange Fake, but read that. King Richard is the fucking best.
Would Spirits like to talk about Fate Strange Fake? Because
not really. There's not really enough right now.
Yeah. A lot of the shit's been made in Japanese, but it has not been translated.
What about Alexander Dumas?
No.
He just wants some food and bitches. That's all a man wants, and I can respect that.
He wants food and bitches, and then just edgelord Dante shows up. You wrote me, master, and he just punches him in the face.
Daddy!
Okay, I think we're done.
Well, fine. Before we, you know what? Fuck it. We're not talking about Dragon Ball Super. We lied.
No, next time.
No.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
It's over an hour right now.
It's over an hour. We've talked.
We'll talk about how stupid Dragon Ball is later.
So before we go, just a quick heads up. Who's a servant? Leave in the comments. Who's a servant you would summon in Fate? Alton, go.
Quetzalcoatl.
Spirits.
You already fucking know. It's either Gil or Karna.
All right. And
Gil probably kill me though.
Frankenstein or Siegfried for me.
Shit tastes perfect. 619 for the win.
God damn it. And this has been Rainbow in the Dark. Everybody, welcome Alton onto the channel. He will be a permanent new addition.
Tell him he's terrible.
I am.
Tell him he's terrible. Make him feel bad.
I already do. The gun's already loaded. I'm just waiting for that day.
This has been Rainbow in the Dark, everybody. You all have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.